Parashat Teitzei, 5th of September 2025. Theme: Righteousness in our relationships. In the parasha for this week, Teitzei, it is said that we find 74 of the 613 mitzvot given by Moses to Israel about practical matters, which will guide Israel once they settle in the land. These mitzvot set aright one's dealings with others in various circumstances. This consists of dealings in various situations and people, from dealing with a captive woman to be taken as wife, to dealing with a wayward sons, to imparting justice, to quarrelling kinsmen, to wages for one's workers, to matter of divorce, incest, and adultery, to exacting the interests and collaterals of loans and dealing with other nations. It is interesting to note that these do not only include dealings with fellow human beings, but with non-humans as well. Lynn White Jr. in 1967 published an article that places a great blame on the Judeo-Christian religion for its contribution to the destruction of the environment. He points out that Christianity inherited from Judaism a striking story of creation where God planned all of creation of man's seek benefit and rule. No item in the physical creation had any purpose save to serve man's purposes. However, we can find that there are texts in the scripture, specifically in this week's parasha, that challenges White's accusation. In the various verses which mention a reference to a non-human creation, we can notice that there are different ways in which the non-human is treated in the text. One way is when the non-human is to be treated well because it is extension of the human owner, Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 1 to 4. Another way is when the non-human is used for the welfare of the humans, especially the poor and the vulnerable, Deuteronomy 23 verse 24-25 and 24 verse 19 to 21. Finally, there are references to the non-human where they are taken care of for their own sake and welfare, Deuteronomy 22 verse 6 to 7 and Deuteronomy 22 verse 10, 25 verse 4, reflecting on the mishpah on sending the mother-bed away. Rabbi Sachs mentions that Ramban takes on conflicting yet valid positions of why the mishpah is to be followed. First, because the divine decree is second, out of concern of the welfare of the creature, and third, because it forms our values in teaches and compassion. It is true that Judaism and Christianity believe that non-humans were created for human welfare, but this is not without any limits. In fact, human beings are charged with the responsibility to tell and keep the creation entrusted to them, Genesis chapter 2 verse 9. However, there is also space for respect and care for non-humans, as they are independent of their use of connection to us humans. In a sense, according to the Jewish philosopher Martin Buber, they are to be treated as though not on it. This is reflected in Pope Francis' reflection on the non-human creation. The laws found in the Bible dwell on relationship not only among individuals, but also with other living beings. Clearly, the Bible has no place for tyrannical anthropocentrism and concern for other creatures. The Church does not simply state that other creatures are completely subordinated to the good of human beings, as if they are of no worth in themselves and can be treated as we wish. Deuteronomy 68-69. This demands tzedakah, righteousness, which is not merely doing right according to any statute or law, but by doing right by fulfilling the demands of any and all of our giving relationship, including that our relationship with God and with our fellow creatures, human and non-human alike. For reflection and discussion, how are we fair in our relationship with people, with our fellow creatures, non-humans, with God? How our relationship with non-humans brought us closer to God, affected our relationship with fellow humans?